Have to question on what is to be enlightened. I have to question people who are using Jesus as their, I don't know. I have to question people who believe in the Christ enlightenment thing. But I don't know, for me it's kind of different. I took a different direction. It's really, I don't relate myself to any figures in the past. I don't relate myself to any figures that people who worship. you know Worshiping, I don't know, I don't believe that worshiping will enlighten you. I don't believe that one particular person, to imitate that one particular person, like, since these people who believe in this Christ enlightenment, only person I have to believe is my own self. Only person I have to believe is me. Just like you have to believe in you and not comparing yourself to something. You should not compare yourself a to Jesus. You should not compare to yourself to this. You call it Christ awakening, which Christians have turned everything upside down in this reality. I mean, Christianity has turned everything upside down in reality. It's like spirituality. Spirituality is kind of weird in this world. How they use it, how they abuse it too. It's funny how they use Jesus and they abuse people with his name. I mean, they use Jesus. The word Jesus to me is pretty disgraceful because you enslave people with that name. You enslave people with that name. You enslave people because you have a belief system that's really pretty much greedy because you use that word Jesus. I know people are pretty evil overall on this planet. People are pretty evil, especially with religion. If you have this Christ enlightenment, which I don't believe in the Christ enlightenment bullcrap. Because it's like enlightenment. I don't know. It's like it all reflects onto you. It's you. You know. In my perspective, it's kind of like I don't want to relate to anything. I don't want to relate to anything. I don't play by the rules. I don't have to behave a certain way. It's pretty, I don't know, it's just I didn't know there was rules to be enlightened. I didn't know there was rules to be enlightened, and I didn't know there was. It's funny about how it's basically how we behave on a prison planet. How we are so abused on this prison planet, because the abuse on this prison planet you know is enlightening us. The abuse that we live every day. The abuse. Being abused, living in this greedy world, it has enlightened us, and it's so weird about it. It's like, yeah, it's so dark. Like I say, I believe, I believe in the darkness. The darkness always, and the darkness and the light always come into balance. So I believe in both darkness and light. It's like it has to come to a balance, because I realize the universe is dark. I always realize that the universe is really dark, and the light people are the evil people. I always see the light people on this planet evil. in my perspective. And it's funny, like the Illuminati. Illuminate means light, and light people have done more damage on this fucking planet. People of the light has done more damage of this on this planet. You don't realize that light can be evil too. Light people can be evil too. And it's like I just for me it's just people who are sun worshippers, Christians or sun worshippers. You know, they've done more bad things in this world because they're based on the light. They've done more sacrifice, human sacrifice on this world because they worship the sun. Because there's a lot of human sacrifice has been done on this planet because of the light. And it's like I have to question the people who say they are enlightened. What is what is enlightenment? I know you believe in the word doing good. You have to do good. You have to be honest. You got to be honest. I don't know why. What's wrong with brutal honesty? And people who call me evil, the ones who call me evil for being brutally honest about our reality. It's like, yeah, I understand this reality. You know, Civilized people are pretty much evil in their in their enlightenment. And their conspiracy to keep you as a slave. Conspiracy theorists, they like to keep you as a slave because they're so used to greed. And they call themselves they call themselves light workers. You got light slaves. I call them light slaves in my perspective. When somebody says a light worker, you got to be, it's got to be, that's kind of like Palladians. The Palladians that want you to keep you the same, to keep you enslaved, to keep you in the abuse. It's so weird about that. And then the Orions, or based on the Orions, our culture is based on the Orions, and the Anunnaki, you know, collecting their gold, and they're the light, you know. It's like I have to question the people who have this Christ bullshit light enlightenment, who use Jesus Christ, because they said they're enlightened, which I don't believe in that shit. I do not believe in that shit. Enlightenment is for yourself. It's you. You don't have to compare yourself. That's one thing I noticed about religious people. They like to compare themselves to Jesus. They like to compare themselves to Jesus. They want to relate to Jesus, which to me, I always look at Jesus as a scam. I always see Jesus as a fucking scam on this fucking planet. The manipulation to make us slaves in this world. The manipulation to make us fucking slaves for these greedy fuckheads that spread their Jesus all around, Especially the Christians in America, the people who believe in Jesus. They're nothing but scam artists who are pretty much evil people that really causes wars. They cause wars and they're so in love with war and violence, and they live in a world that's so unbalanced and so unfair to every human being, really abusive. People who have religious backgrounds are very abusive people. They're very abusive people, especially when they call themselves the light, and I just somehow it's like enlightened. I just gotta question the ones who uses Jesus as their enlightenment. But in reality, it's just you. You have to look at yourself. You can't compare yourself to nobody. You can't compare yourself to nobody. That's why everybody tells me to be myself. You have to be yourself. You don't need to compare, you know? You don't need to. It's funny how we are. It's funny how we live our life. We have to compare ourselves to this figurehead, this cult like figurehead, Jesus, because that's what it is. These Jesus fuckheads are nothing but cults that are very abusive in everything that they are, and according to their greed and according to their enslavement of humanity for money. Money is slavery, you know? Yeah, I have to question the Republicans who said that they are enlightened, especially especially Corey Good and David Wilcott. I had to question them too on their being Republicans who believe that they are enlightened in this world, and I don't know. It's like I took myself to a whole new different direction, you know, and I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand where I'm going, but I feel the energy within my own self. I feel the energy all around me. I understand that there is changes in this reality. I understand that reality is changing every moment, every second. Timeline's always changing. You can never predict the future because the timeline's always changing. And then people that I choose according to how I look at them. Yeah, I choose Destiny. I choose JS6. Now I choose this other guy, Ivan the Teller. Yeah, I believe I do believe in off-worlders. I believe they're Palladians, and I believe that there are other beings out there, and I believe that we're not alone. And the mindset we have will not make the fourth dimension. The 3D mindset will not make us have the 4D dimension. The 4D dimension is completely a different mindset, you know? Okay, have a nice day. I can't think of anything to say.